You want to know how empires crumble? I'll show you. It begins with fire. It always begins with fire.
1020, my first village. They feared what they couldn't burn. Their faith shattered before my eyes. I wept for the beauty of it. They sent hunters. Fools. The forest was mine before their god had a name. Power isn't destruction. It's the absence of their will to resist.
I found my first grimoire in a dead king's grave. Theft from the forgotten feels like justice. Words burned my mind before my eyes could read them. Hunger finally had a name. King Ethelred's court. They thought gold could buy protection from the north. Cute. One whisper in the right ear. The kingdom splits like rotten wood. Three kings would die this year. I'd already chosen which one kept the throne.
Hastings. Men thought they died for crowns. They died because I tilted the wind. I wanted him to see me. Just once, before the arrow found his eye.
Canterbury Cathedral. I walked through holy ground. God didn't notice or didn't care. I defiled nothing. The building simply remembered what it was built on.
The First Crusade. I followed them to Jerusalem. Faith makes monsters so predictable. He prayed for victory. I gave him a vision. Visions are just lies with better lighting. Jerusalem fell. I stood in the temple of Hayyaz as shit. Even I tire of slaughter, but I needed them broken. Broken men build broken kingdoms. 1150, Byzantium.
Hello, Simplus. I didn't kill the Empress. I just showed her what her enemies whispered in the dark.
1209, the Cathars. They believed in purity with an opportunity. Kill them all, God will know his own. I made sure God wasn't watching. 1240, Chartres Cathedral. They built it to reach God. I showed them what lived in the architecture. The stones remembered the old gods. I just asked them to speak.
1258, Baghdad. The House of Wisdom held 1,000,000 books. I read them all before the Mongols came. I saved what I could. 1,000 years of knowledge. The Mongols saved nothing.
1347.
The Black Death arrived by ship. I've been expecting it.
Plague is just nature's audit of overpopulation. I could have stopped it. But why prune a tree that's finally feeding the soil?
Florence, 1348. Half the city in pits. I watched the gravediggers count coins instead of bodies. Death is not the end. It's just a door I learnt to open. Sometimes I shouldn't.
1350. After the plague, survivors thought they were blessed. I thought they were available. Kings are just men with better tailoring. Break the tailoring, they're nothing. 1386. The Teutonic Order. They conquered with crosses and steel. I showed them what conquered means.
They built their fortress on ice. I simply reminded them ice is water pretending.
The peasants burned. The lords counted gold. I kept my own tally.
1415, Agincourt.
I watched from a French standard. The mud did my work for me.
I didn't need fire. Just a word to the water table. Mud eats armies better than swords.
1453. Constantinople fell again.
I saw no hard finger once.
I offered him eternity. He chose death for a dying city. Romantic fool.
1455. Gutenberg's press. I thought, finally, ignorance can be mass-produced. I didn't burn his books, I rewrote them. Every copy, every word. History is ink on paper, I own the ink.
Flatter me.
I added a chapter. He'll never notice. His god will read it, though.
1494.
He wanted to purify sacrifice. Fire is honest. No more to darkness.
Torture is art. I learn from the best.
1522. Magellan's fleet.
I'll sailing to the edge of the watch.
The edge was disappointed.
The sea doesn't care about empires.
What sorcery is this?
Empire's string crown. I held his crown in the air. He begged. I gave it back. Crowns are heavier than chains. Besetting the gang. Watched an empire hold its breath.
1589. Trier a big trial in history.
1590. The galley slaves. 1600. The Globe Theatre. Shakespeare wrote about witches. I sat in the audience and took notes. I ate the plague. Spat out kingdoms. 1631.
I held the rope for 20 heartbeats. Then I let it fall.
1660. Versailles. Louis the Sun King. I taught him that all light casts shadow. I showed him his reflection aging, 1,000 years in 1 second. But
1692.
Salem, they'd like to buy some options the good friend.
The ropes turned to snakes. The crowd thought it was witchcraft.
1715. The namaskar is the truth too. Everyone lies except the ma. I wore no mask, so I lifted peace to Usurpa. Then I stopped dancing that night. 1789. The Bastille fell. I didn't stop in the knives. Revolutions eat their children. I make sure the children are delicious. 1811. The Industrial Revolution. They replaced hands with machines. I replaced machines with hunger. The machines ate children. I made the machines choke on what they swallowed. 1815. Gods don't decide battles. Weather does. I didn't choose Wellington. I chose the mud. Mud has no politics. 1854. The railway. Humanity finally learned to move fast, toward the same mistakes but faster, and I derailed his career. And his train. One conversation at a time. 1916. The Somme. 1,000,000 men in mud. I stopped counting. Numbers stopped meaning anything. I held one shell. One, for one boy, the rest fell. Mercy is a drop in an ocean of blood. 1918. The Spanish flu. More efficient than any general.
Disease is the only honest army.
I couldn't stop the flu, but I could slow it, 1 tent at a time. Even gods have budgets.
What is this?
1929. Wall Street. They danced on the edge of a cliff. I just nudged. Wealth is a number. Numbers are my language. I spoke, and 0 became the only truth. I counted the bodies. Lost count. Kept counting. 1942. I couldn't save them all. I made sure he never slept again. His dreams became their faces. "1940. I held to them for aesthetics. A dome of light over St. Paul's. The bombers saw it. They missed. Architecture matters more than people.
1968. Vietnam. They burned the jungle with chemicals. I burned their minds with truth. Napalm froze. The jungle grew back in seconds. Nature is my oldest ally.
1986. I tried to contain it. Even I have limits. Radiation is the one poison I can't eat. I held the core for 3 days. 3 days of radiation eating me. Some things are bigger than witches. 1989. The Berlin Wall. I watched them dance on it. Sometimes the people don't need me. I didn't break the wall. I just helped it along. A whisper to the concrete. 2001. New York. I watched the towers fall on television. For the first time I felt small. I stopped time in this room. For 1 hour, the dust hung still. Even witches need to grieve. 2020. The pandemic. I watched through screens. Humanity learned to fear the invisible. Welcome to my world. I couldn't stop this one either, but I could see it. Every cell, every death, counting again. 2024. Artificial intelligence. They built a mind. I've been alone in mine for a millennium. I'm watching, spoke. Not in code, in thought. I heard another mind. After 1,000 years, I'm not alone. I walked home. Through 1,000 years of rubble. The hut hasn't changed. 1,000 years, 100 collapsed civilizations, and the kettle still works. You've seen 1,000 years through my eyes. Civilizations are candles, I'm the dark they flicker against. Power isn't fire or lightning. It's watching everything you love burn and choosing which ember to keep. The diary closes. But I don't. I never do.